Arcadia, the town of the human Trollhunter and his allies. Today we will be looking into the characters and history of this town.
I personally call Armageddon.
Why? Well, you'll see why. We don't know when Arcadia was built, but we do know that at some time there was a meeting between the rulers of Arcadian 5, the Elder of Trollmarket, and the current Trollhunter, in an exchange of Galen's core at this site. After this, humans would migrate to this location and begin construction of Arcadia, unknowingly building on top of Trollmarket beneath. For decades, Arcadia lived in peace. And during this time, changelings would infiltrate the society and come to live in Arcadia, setting up a secret base on its outskirts. From this base, they would help Bular, who also left for Arcadia, in order to take the amulet for Killer Head. One day, though, an enemy like no other would come, and his name was James Lake Jr. His early years would be happy and merry, until his father left. Meaning his mother, Barbara, is out a lot to make days sum. So Jim was left home to take care of the house, and eventually take care of his mother. Don't take that the wrong way. His best friend, Tobias Domzowski, would be born at the same time, and his life would be marked by tragedy. His mother and father would win the lottery. When he was born, they went out on a world tour. But sadly, a storm be brewing, and he would be instead raised by his nana. These two would meet and become good friends over the next few years in high school. In high school, Jim would develop a crush on Claire Nunez, the daughter of the mayor of Arcadia. He never had the stomach to talk to her initially, I can relate, but that would change after a certain discovery. On their way to school, Jim and Toby were running very late and tried to take the canals as a shortcut. But something would catch their attention. After collecting the amulet, Jim and Toby would get themselves to school and try to discern its purpose. While trying to do this, Jim would finally muster up the courage to talk to Claire and enroll for the play Romeo and Juliet. Returning home, Jim would unlock the amulet, and Strickler would meet with Bular by the canals to tell him who has the amulet, spotting it in Jim's bag a number of hours earlier. The next few weeks, Jim would train and fight against Strickler and Bular over Killer Head Bridge, while also trying to be part of the play. But Steve, their school bully, would try to take his place and have mild success before failing. And on the play's night, the Battle of the Museum would occur, where Jim's team would fight against Bular and his allies. Jim would slay Bular in this battle and make his way to the play, where he would make a promise that would doom Arcadia. 2 weeks passed, and Arcadia would be troubled by Toby's irresponsible behavior. Other than that, it would be quiet. That was all about to change. Strickler, escaping from Arcadia, will go to the forests with his subordinate Otto and a goblin to set out to a dark temple and awaken a broken monster. He would appear again in Arcadia, and after removing the principal, would reinstate himself in his school in order to get closer to Jim. At the same time, the warrior Angor Ross would test and watch Jim to study his strengths and weaknesses in preparation for his actual attack. With danger increasing and plans to go to the Darklands, Jim would be out of the house a lot, worrying his mother on where he was all day. Jim would become very angry at his mother's insistence on pushing the subject. The truth would be revealed to her soon. Jim would go on to fight and battle Angor and Strickler for a number of weeks after, coming to a head in his own home, and Barbara would finally learn of her son's activities. Shocked and scared of what was happening, it would be cut short by Angor's appearance. Barbara would try to help, but would only lead to a near death. She would be taken to Trollhunter to heal, alongside Strickler, who due to some magic chicanery could feel her pain and, like her, was badly wounded. A cure would be found, but it would remove her memories of the event. Once healed, she was brought back to the hospital, and Jim, with a heavy heart, returned to the fray and fought Angor in the Battle of Trollhunter, where Angor would be defeated at great cost. 2 weeks later, Jim had travelled to the Darklands, so Toby and Claire stood in for him at school and at home. Barbara had made a full recovery, and her memory was lost as expected.
Very convenient, writers.
Not all were as oblivious of Jim, however. Eli, Pepperjack, and Steve would begin conversing and create their own society. The Creep Slayers! At first they would be suspicious of Jim and what has been happening to him, but soon changed their mind and helped Jim in subtle ways, protecting Arcadia from the smaller threats coming from deep below. Jim would eventually return and lead to the freedom of Gunmar and Trollhunter's corruption. Jim, Toby, Claire and team would spend nights on end warding off Gunmar's scouts and forces alongside the Creep Slayers. With the rising disappearances of items and pets, Claire's mother, the mayor, would increase security over Arcadia, and Toby would be caught up by the police for his suspicious actions in the night, helping to cover up the trolls in Arcadia. Instead of being put away for a number of offences, he would help find robbers living in the sewers of Arcadia and detain them. For this, he was forgiven and hailed by the community. Later, the parents of Jim, Toby and Claire would talk, and they were forced to reveal the truth to them. Understandably concerned, they at first urged them to stop, but relent so the story can keep going. Let them grow and make their own decisions. After returning from a mission to Merlin's tomb, he would take up residence in the lake home, to Barbara's annoyance through his experiments. Her anger only grew when Merlin transformed Jim into a troll, as a way to even the odds against Gunmar. This would be needed, as Gunmar unleashed his legions upon Arcadia in the eternal night, and Jim, alongside his friends, would fight Gunmar. The battle was fierce, but in the end, Gunmar was defeated. Arcadia would be left in ruin, yet it would heal to be attacked again by aliens, a god, and even a titan. The town would survive to the bitter end. I hope you enjoyed this fantasy tale. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and may the glory of Merlin be with you always.